In March 2014, a modern passenger jet took off into the night. It was flight MH370, bound from Kuala Lumpur to Beijing, carrying 239 souls. Within hours, the aircraft would vanish, disappearing from radar, from satellites, from the world, to this day. Flight MH370 remains one of the greatest mysteries in aviation history. It was March 8th, 2014. Flight MH370 prepared for departure, scheduled for a routine 6-hour journey from Malaysia to China. On board were 227 passengers from over a dozen different nations, along with 12 crew. The aircraft itself was a Boeing 777-200ER, a long-range jet, considered one of the safest aircraft ever built. At 12:41 a.m. local time, the plane lifted off into the night sky. For the first 40 minutes, everything was normal. The pilots communicated with air traffic control. Cabin crew served drinks. Families settled in for the red-eye flight. At 1:19 a.m., the final transmission came. Good night. Malaysian 37. 0 minutes later, as the flight crossed from Malaysian to Vietnamese airspace, its transponder signal went dark. Air traffic controllers tried to make contact. There was no response. At 1:30 a.m., flight MH370 was gone from civilian radar. The disappearance of flight MH370. The night it vanished, unknown to civilian radar. Military radar still tracked the plane. Instead of continuing north toward Vietnam, the aircraft turned west. It flew back across the Malay Peninsula, silent, dark, unresponsive. At 2:22 a.m., the last confirmed radar contact was near the Andaman Sea. Then, nothing, for hours. No one knew the aircraft's fate. Families at airports waited, believing it was simply delayed. By morning, it was clear. Flight MH370 was missing. The search begins. The initial search focused on the South China Sea, where the plane was last seen on civilian radar. But as days passed, the truth emerged. Satellite data from Inmarsat revealed something extraordinary. For 7 hours after disappearing from radar, the aircraft continued flying. Each hour, it sent an automated handshake to a satellite, creating a trail of faint electronic breadcrumbs. The final signal came at 8:19 a.m. in the southern Indian Ocean, one of the most remote places on Earth. This revelation shifted the search thousands of miles from where it began. The question grew darker. Why had the aircraft flown for hours off course? And where exactly had it gone? Over the years, theories emerged. Some rational, some unthinkable, none proven. Number 1, pilot action. One theory suggests the captain deliberately diverted the flight. Investigators discovered a private flight simulator at his home, containing practice routes into the southern Indian Ocean. Was this evidence of intent or coincidence? Supporters of this theory believe he depressurized the cabin, rendering passengers unconscious before steering into the ocean. But friends and family deny it, insisting he was devoted, caring, and had no reason to destroy the flight. Second possibility, hijacking. Another theory claims hijackers seized the aircraft, possibly aiming for a target in the region, or forcing the crew to comply. Yet, no group ever claimed responsibility. No demands were made, and the hours-long southern detour seems aimless. Third possibility, fire or mechanical failure. Some experts suggest a catastrophic fire or decompression. Perhaps the crew turned back, attempting to reach a runway, but became incapacitated. The plane then flew on autopilot until fuel exhaustion ended the flight. But if this was true, why were no distress signals ever sent? Why the deliberate turns? Why the hours of silent flight? Another possibility: military interception. Some believe the flight crossed into restricted airspace and was accidentally or deliberately shot down. Such an act would likely be concealed. Yet, no evidence of missile strikes or wreckage consistent with attack has been confirmed. Or maybe the Indian Ocean crash. The official investigation concluded the plane eventually exhausted its fuel, then plummeted into the Southern Ocean. Small fragments of debris later washed ashore on Reunion Island, Mozambique, and Madagascar. Yet the main wreckage and the flight recorders remain lost. The search for MH370 became the most expensive in aviation history, covering over 120,000 square kilometers of ocean floor. Robotic submersibles scanned trenches deeper than Mount Everest is tall. But the seabed gave up no answers, only silence. After years of searching, operations were suspended. The aircraft remained undiscovered. For the families of 239 souls, the loss is more than a mystery. It is a wound without closure. Mothers wait at airport terminals. Fathers replay the final phone calls. Children grow up without answers. The mystery of MH370 is not only a puzzle of science and satellites. It is a story of human lives, cut short. Flight MH370 remains one of the greatest unsolved mysteries of our time. Theories attempt to explain it. Investigations continue to probe it. But the ocean keeps its silence until the wreckage is found, until the black boxes speak. The world will not know what truly happened in those final hours. Perhaps the aircraft lies waiting in the darkness, at the bottom of the sea. Or perhaps its truth is buried forever, swallowed by the ocean.